You hang out here, London Mula, DJ Absolute, and we have with us David Ongesa, who's the president of the Workplace Safety Professionals Association of Kenya. If you have any questions for him, you can direct them to our social media platforms at Spice FM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Karibu sana, David.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's talk about safety then, which is your forte, right? So why should workplaces, schools, and homes consider safety and wellness?
Well, safety is very important, not just in workplaces. Of course, a lot of emphasis has been placed upon the workplaces because there's a legal backup in the workplaces that the workers should work in an environment that is very safe and does not endanger them while they are undertaking their duties.
Yes.
And again, it's not just a legal provision at the moment, because the International Labour Organization last year declared workplace safety and health as a fundamental principle and right at work, just like other basic rights. So health and safety is now a fundamental principle. Everybody is entitled to a safe and healthy working environment wherever they are working. So employers, they must put in place provisions and measures to ensure that their workers are safe when they are working, so that when they go back to their families, they go wholesomely the way they reported to work, without any injury, without any ill health, without any incapacity in their body or body parts.
Okay, I love that you've focused on the workplace. What about schools and homes? I don't know. I think schools and homes and churches, religious institutions as well. Do they take safety also as seriously? Because I don't know about the legal repercussions in church.
Sure.
And I've never heard of anybody suing a religious institution, a mosque or a church, because they slipped and fell because you didn't have provision for my, let's say, crutches and so on and so forth. Do you think they put just as much emphasis in their institution safety?
I would like to take you back to some years back. In institutions, we've had incidences that have really cost parents, teachers, institutions, and everybody a big pain. We've had several fires in the past.
Yes.
For instance, our minds are still fresh about Kianguli fire incident, which occurred in the year 2001.
Yes.
Where we lost 67 students. Imagine losing 67 students that are going in one institution. It's quite painful and sad. And not just that, we also had the fire in Bombolulu Girls. That was in 1998, where we lost 26 students. And sadly, in 1999, we also had an incident where 4 prefects were burned to death by their fellow students in school.
Yes.
So this incident clearly shows you that something needs to be done, especially for schools and institutions. In Kenya, we have very good legal provisions and guidelines. For instance, for schools and institutions,
yes,
we have a safety standard manual of 2008, which provides for the guideline on how even the building infrastructure should be put in place.
Yes.
The access and the exits, the trainings, the drills. But if you go to these schools, you find that that is not really being followed. So we lack some bit of enforcement. You remember also in Kakamega Primary School where we had stampede.
Yes.
And that was in the year 2020. We lost 14 pupils because they were scrambling to go outside, but the exits were too narrow.
Yes.
The provisions provide that the exit should be about 5 feet. But if you go to these schools, you'll find that that is not really strictly being followed.
Yeah.
Boarding schools, some of them are still having rails on the windows. So if there is an emergency, it hampers, effort to save students to an area of safety before they can be injured or maybe killed in case of such eventualities.
Yeah, sorry to cut you short. I think most of our schools are fairly old. So I
Sure.
think it's because it was the old model of construction. Because half our schools are schools that have existed even since the pre-colonial or colonial times, right? So what is your mandate? Do you then push the schools to build newer structures that adhere to the
safety requirements.
yes, that you speak on?
There is usually a provision for modifications. Yeah, like the dormitories, they must have, safety exits. Apart from the main exit, there should be an alternative exit, which, for instance, the student, the boarding schools can use when they are exiting in case of an emergency. And then with the coming into force of these new guidelines, some structures should be put in place, especially for schools. You know, the way we have accountants, the way we have the non-teaching staff in schools.
Yes.
Schools should also consider hiring health and safety specialists. If maybe they do not have resources to hire one, they should empower the security personnel with the health and safety trainings. The provisions that we have indicates that even in schools, we should be doing trainings, fire safety trainings, so that even the pupil should be able to know how to use fire equipment.
Oh, yes.
And they should be aware of what to do in case of fires. But again, even in our homes, we've had cases where people have died as a result of fires.
Yes.
Maybe portable gas cylinder exploding, and or a small fire starting in the kitchen, and probably the person is there doesn't know what to do. If they are trained and awareness is given so that they know that they can be having some portable fire extinguisher and train on how to use it, then that can really save some lives even in the homes. You remember where you leave your house manager and you go to work?
Yes.
And because they were not, inducted on what to do in case of fire, some of us even hire them and do not even show them how to use the electronic gadgets in our houses.
Yes.
We don't even teach them and show them how to use the gas cylinders in our kitchens. So when there is emergency, they run up and down, and before you know it, fire doesn't give warning or signals. Before you know it, the whole house is consumed by fire, and everything is gone in flames.
It's nice that you bring it up, because now that you spoke about it, it's the first place where I live currently is the first place I have lived that I've seen the management have fire extinguishers, both foam and water, on outside every door. But I've never, even growing up, I've never thought about it. But when you brought it up, is there anything that you do to push landlords to do that, or so that it can also come to safety and wellness can also be carried into our homes? Because I've honestly never seen.
Having them is one thing, but let me also ask you,
Knowing
do
how
you
to
know
use
how
them.
to use them? In
No.
case of fire, do you know how to use the fire extinguisher?
No.
So what we
I
are
don't.
saying, you may have them,
Yeah.
but they
know-how.
could just be like decorations if you don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
That is why we have specialists who do awareness and trainings on fire safety and also on first aid. I've heard of couples who have lost their young ones due to choking.
Yes.
Because they left the babies with their house managers at home, and they went to work. The house manager feeding their babies, and then they get choked, and they are running up and down, and they don't know what to do.
Yes.
By the time you get information that your baby is choking, it is too late. You reach the hospital and nothing can be done. So it's very, very important, even in our homes, for parents to bring on board a specialist in health and safety, in first aid, in fire safety, to do basic awareness training covering all the aspects. I nowadays see some few homeowners doing that.
Yes.
They can pool resources, and then they get a specialist to take them through these basic trainings. They are very, very small trainings, but they can save lives. They are very, very critical. They can save lives. We have also seen situations where in swimming pools, somebody getting muscle pull, and because in the whole compound they are just alone, that happens, and they drown in even a shallow swimming pool. So such calls for sensitization and awareness, so that the lives that can be saved can be saved.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. We actually think these are small issues, but they're not. Something as small as not knowing what to do when a child chokes. But I know there's institutions that actually give the training, like St. John's. I'm a mother, so when my child was little, I tried to find out where my nanny could get some training. So let me ask you a question. Let's speak on a larger scale. At the national level, who is in charge of matters health and safety?
Well, at the national level, we have a department that is charged with the responsibility of enforcing and oversighting matters occupational safety and health.
Yes.
Which is the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health, which is called DOSH, within the Ministry of Labor and Social Services. Under that, we have appointed occupational safety and health advisors. These are appointed specialists who are supposed to, assist the authority to audit workplaces, to advise workplaces, because we have very many workplaces in the country.
Yes.
And also we have those who are registered to offer or provide trainings, where St. John that you mentioned is one of them, Kenya Red Cross. There are many.
Yes.
They are supposed also to help in offering fire safety trainings and first aid trainings. Most of these are statutory, but most of these service providers go beyond.
Yes.
They even now offer non-statutory services like the short awareness training that we are talking about, just to extend the mandate of health and safety beyond the workplaces, even to the homes, to the churches, to the stadium, even in events. Nowadays, it is very critical when you are planning an event to incorporate safety features. For example, you are maybe hosting a football match and you're expecting maybe 3,000 people to attend. If you overlook the aspect of safety, then something can happen that might lead to the death of many people. Actually, in 2010, you remember there was a stampede which occurred at Nyayo Stadium.
Yes.
There was a football match, and due to that, about 7 people died.
One of them was my friend, my childhood friend, my neighbor. Yes.
Yeah. So imagine if the whole event was organized proactively and all measures put in place, intelligence put in place. Because what happened is the fans, due to delay in ticketing and entry into the podium, the fans were getting anxious and they were losing patience. And then now they are forcing themselves into the stadium. And because of that, stampede arose, which caused death of 7 people and more than 50 people critically injured. So in, a proper planning where you incorporate safety aspects, you would know that because of the tickets that we have sold, we're expecting this number of people. The match is starting at this time. Let's start allowing them in by this time. A methodical way of planning that you avoid any chance that would lead to such incidences happening.
So what happens to an institution that is non-compliant in terms of safety at the workplace? What do you as a body do to them?
Well,
out of curiosity.
Just to be clear, the body which is mandated legally in the country to oversight matters occupational safety and health is Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health, DOSH.
The DOSH.
Yes. They are charged with the enforcing and inspecting workplaces.
Yes.
If they find that you are not complying, one of the things they can do is that they can give you improvement notice that as a result of our inspection,
Yes.
we have not found this, and this in place.
Yes.
We are giving you 14 days to comply.
Failure to which?
They can close down the workplace until such a time that will comply.
Yes.
If you don't comply with their directives, they can also fine you.
Yes.
The occupier, the owner of the workplace, can also be jailed and fined at the same time. So they are really very good legal provisions and
Yes.
tough measures. But again, the enforcing authority is also having inadequate manpower. So they might not be able to visit all the workplaces in the country and enforce.
Yes.
But because safety is now critical, the awareness that we are doing is supposed to make people at individual level to take ownership upon themselves.
Yes.
I know that saving life is a sacred initiative. So because that is why we came up with the Workplace Safety Professional Association of Kenya.
Yes.
This is also a legally registered body that brings together now safety professionals under one body, under one umbrella. And what we do a lot of sensitizations to the workplaces. We organize events where we can even sensitize border riders on road safety. We can go to public institutions and also do mentorship to young professionals. We do sensitizations in schools. So we raise that awareness. Because like we said in schools, where we have a major problem, we have lost. But if you ask some of these school heads and principals, they are not aware of such regulations and law existing.
Yes.
So when they are putting up buildings, they don't know that the windows should not have grills.
Yes.
You talked of old buildings. Some are still putting new buildings with the grilled windows. That hampers effort to save students during emergencies.
Yes.
Like in all schools, we are supposed to, have evacuation plans posted at all the exits, at all the corridors, and not just having it, have the students trained and understand what they're supposed to do in case of emergencies. Actually, if it reaches a level where in all schools we should have safety clubs, just like the way we have debating clubs, the way we have environmental clubs and other clubs, it would be so good in enforcing this, especially in schools. But again, it's good also at a national level for the government to create training and awareness, especially on the safety standard manual for schools, for all the school heads in the country.
Yes.
And tell them that this is what is expected of you to make our schools safer. From that, they can trickle down the information and ensure the same is enforced in their respective schools. As a matter of fact, private schools are doing so well.
Yes.
They have even, some of the private schools, they have even employed somebody who is fully in charge of health and safety.
Yes.
And also somebody is fully in charge of security. Because the lives of pupils and students is very sacred. If you bring them to, parents take their children to school to study, it might be so heartbreaking just to get a news that, your child is critically injured or has passed on because of this and this and this. Especially during these hard economic times when people are trying to do family planning. Maybe you just have only one and is in secondary school and you get that sad news. So we should not take it lightly. It's a matter that you should start enforcing at a national level.
Yes.
Yes.
Any more challenges you feel your body has to go through to make sure we are singing the tune of safety and wellness?
Well, the only challenge is I've already mentioned is resources. You see, this matter requires collaboration and partnerships. So getting resources to make this come true sometimes might be a challenge. We could be maybe having interest in organizing a lot or many sensitization seminars, awareness trainings, or getting to get people moved around to schools. That might be limited if resources are inadequate. Yeah, but Workplace Safety Professional Association of Kenya is a body which I think is barely 3-4 years old, but we are doing a lot to sensitize public institutions as well as private sector or even the Juakali sector on matters of occupational safety and health. Yeah, as a matter of fact, even as we speak,
you have a conference coming up. Tell us about the conference.
Yes, we are having what we call the inaugural WSPAK Safety Conference. It's going to be the first biggest safety conference that has ever happened in East Africa. We have gotten our brothers from Tanzania, our brothers from Uganda. And we also have participants coming from Nigeria and other parts of Africa. This one of the biggest safety conference that is meant to, do capacity building, especially for safety professionals. We aim to share knowledge across because we also have partners coming from UK. We are going to share knowledge across various sectors, workplaces, manufacturing, road transport, service sector, so that they are empowered with knowledge. And as they leave the conference, they leave when they have additional knowledge to ensure safety is implemented as required in the workplaces. And we thank Standard Media Group because they are one of our partners in this WSPAK conference, which is coming up on Friday 25th and 26th. Standard Media Group is one of our partners. We are really proud of them for supporting this. And we're actually proud of IOSH from UK. And we have very many other partners that have made this conference possible, including the government of Kenya, DOSH, that I've just talked about. Secretary Osh, who is heading the safety department at DOSH, is going to be one of the speakers and will take us through the statistics and trends in occupational safety and health, like, in workplaces. What are the trends? Most of the injuries, in which sector they're occurring? Most of the deaths, fatalities, in which sectors are they occurring? And what are the critical reasons? These statistics are very important because they form a baseline and narrow us down to where we should focus much on to ensure that we save more lives in the country.
Please tell us the venue for this year's conference and the theme for the year as well.
Well, the venue for the conference will be at Nyali Reef Beach Hotel in Mombasa, just at the coast. So the delegates or the participants will be learning as they enjoy the ambience of the coastal region. And the weather is just perfect for that. So the theme is capacity building in the occupational safety and health profession. We need to build. Like you see, we have young upcoming professionals. We should show them the right way and mentor them to do the right thing. So when we meet in such a conference, they get a chance to see what are the best practices, and also it provides a perfect chance for networking. The key people in the industry, all the key health and safety managers from East Africa will be at that conference. So if you want to meet one of the maybe key health and safety managers that you've been really willing to meet, you will find him there. We have had almost 200 people have registered to attend the conference. We expect the number to go up, and we expect a lot of learning and deliberation to take place at that conference.
So I'm looking at the payment, the charges for the conference, and I can see members, non-members, students, exhibition. If someone wants to, if they're an industry player and they want to maybe set up a stand,
Sure.
To showcase their services and whatever, if they sell safety equipment. But tell me about members. So it means that there's people who've paid for membership. They're part of your body.
Yes.
So how does someone get all this information?
Yeah, the best way to get all that information is go to our social media pages.
Yes.
Particularly the LinkedIn page, Workplace Safety Professional Association of Kenya.
Yes.
We have put all the details for the conference there. We have put all the, all the topics that will be covered, all the speakers that will be there. How to pay for participation. If you want to do exhibition, you will get all the details there if you go to our LinkedIn page. But we are also on Instagram, we are also in Facebook, where we also post those details. But very active on LinkedIn because it is the most professional platform.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. I'd be surprised if you're on Instagram. I don't know what you'd show us. Stairs and railings. Thank you so much. It is David Ongesa in the studio with us. He is the president of the Workplace Safety Professionals Association of Kenya. Nice to meet you, sir, and good luck in your conference.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can't wait for you to come back next year with a bigger and better conference.
Sure, we will. We have many more events coming up. We'll have a gala dinner in December. You are very much welcome.
Yes.
Asante
sana. I remember was it the beginning of this year we had a fire drill, and the fire drill was a fire drill. Even on air, we were told there's a fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it's a drill, we mean business.
It's a drill. Yes.
No,
but my show, no. Fire drill, ni fire. Fire drill. But our head of, no, it's a fire drill. So we take matters safety very seriously here at the Standard Group. In fact, I don't know how we'd have gotten through COVID. I remember the first call I got when I turned positive was from our OSH department. So yes, there's companies and institutions that are walking the talk.
Sure. I also remember my first case. It was really the first case that I ever handled.
Yes.
That's way much in 2020. It was really devastating.
Yes.
Those days people thought that if you
were going to die,
it was death sentence. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you so much. So your favorite soul song, you cannot leave this studio. At least, even say an artist. You're saved at home. Haya, basi. Even he can play for you ni Kirk Franklin or Kwetu Pazuri. Sindio? Absolute.
That would
play
be nice.
for the CEO. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, fantastic.
Spice.